Alright, so, going to be doing another comic review, comic sent to me by my friend Chris. Chris, thank you once again. And we're going to be talking about Ultimate Black Panther, Peace and War. Yeah. So... this is my first comic in the new era of the Ultimate Universe. Chris is sending me Ultimate Spider-Man. That was actually supposed to come first, but things happened. So this was actually my first foray into the Ultimate Universe, the new Ultimate Universe. And I gotta say, it's a pretty good one. I am excited to read Ultimate Spider-Man. That's probably the one I'm most excited to read, and I'm also interested to read Ultimates when that comes out in trade. I did not read Ultimate Invasion, so there are some things in this book that just make me go, okay, how did that happen? But yeah. So what is Ultimate Black Panther all about? Well, in its core, it is a war between Black Panther and Moon Knight. That's what it is. So the story is, in here, T'Challa in this continuity is married to Okoye, and T'Chaka is still alive, but after a terrorist attack by the group called Moon Knight, Moon Knight in here is treated like Cobra, where it's kind of it's an all-out organization that is sprawling, and it's taking control of a majority of Africa. It's basically taken over all of Africa, and they are trying to take over the last piece of Africa that has not bowed yet, Wakanda. In here, T'Challa, after a terrorist attack that killed T'Chaka, who had stepped down, T'Challa becomes king, and however, he's so paranoid after his father's death that he's actually, at war with Wakanda itself, whereas the Moon Knight organization is moving in on attacking them. Meanwhile, after T'Challa also encounters two allies that could give him hope, and the real reason why the Moon Knight organization is after him. Killmonger and his girlfriend Storm. Yeah. So what did I like about this comic? I really do like I've talked about before. And one of the things I didn't like about most modern Black Panther books is how they try to make the Wakandan civilization too much like the rest of the world, even though that's not the point. In here, I forgive it because again, it's a different universe. It's a different continuity altogether, and it's really more about. It's really also kind of like Wakanda is a perfect world, but there are some hidden secrets to it, and they have been hiding it. The other thing is they haven't really vibranium isn't really used in this universe's continuity. It's more along the lines of they've just discovered what appears to be vibranium, but they haven't really really don't know what it is. But the Moon Knight organization knows what it is, and there's also something going on in this Wakanda as well, that there are some darker secrets. There's also a lot of cool stuff involving, in here, Killmonger and Storm are trying to teach T'Challa what the real history of Wakanda is, while Okoye, who I really like the relationship between T'Challa and Okoye in this universe, where in here, they're husband and wife, and she's still the leader of the Dora Milaje. And she also acts like, hey, I am your wife as well as one of your most trusted advisors. It wouldn't kill you to listen to me every now and again. And Suri in here is a little more bloodthirsty. She's a little more bloodthirsty. She's got a and remember, originally before the MCU took over and changed the character entirely. One of the things with Suri was that Suri herself was a bloodthirsty, was a more hands-on, direct fighter in the continuity. She was a more brutal character, so it's nice to see that brutality back. And we also have a lot of talk of who is the traitor in who's working alongside Moon Knight, the Moon Knight organization. I think it might be Suri. It might be Suri or Killmonger. There's also some tension between T'Challa and Storm due to several things. And T'Challa himself is making a lot of mistakes, like trusting this group in here, a religious order that's been around with Wakanda that almost sounds like straight out of Warhammer. It really does sound like something out of Warhammer. Let me try to get the name real quick. the Vodou Khan. Yeah, it sounds like something straight out of like a Tao religious group. But the Vodou Khan are, you know, keepers of Wakanda's history, and T'Challa here is more interested in technology than anything else. But we do see that the Vodou Khan are kind of like the Ordos Inquisitores from Warhammer, where they kind of help rule Wakanda through like religious means and whatnot. I also really do like the thing of how they're using Moon Knight in here as like a terrorist organization. We do have Khonshu and Ra, who are not the actual gods; they're just people pretending to them. Could they be like the ultimate version of Mark Spector and Dr. Badir? We don't know yet. As far as this comic, I know the comic's been out for a while. We're on issue 12 right now, but I'm only reading in trade, so that's kind of that's one of the things. Like, yeah, I still don't know yet. But we do see that the two leaders of Moon Knight, Khonshu and Ra, are transfixed on taking over Africa before whatever happened to the Maker gets undone. All in all, it's a pretty fantastic book. I will say that the Ultimate Black Panther costume is decent. I just don't like seeing the mouth. Like, I'm so used to Black Panther costumes having... Like, I'm so used to having the Black Panther costumes having, like, the mouthpiece covered. It's just kind of weird, and it's a little too Batman-y for me. I don't know, maybe that's just a personal thing for me. Anyway, so this comic, which I forgot to mention, is written by Brian Hill, is solid. For my first book into the Ultimate Universe, this was a pretty solid start. I am still excited for Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimates whenever I get those trades. And yeah, Chris, thank you so much again for this comic. This was a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying this. Pick this up if you haven't already. Ultimates has not missed at all. The new Ultimate Universe has not missed at all so far. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what if you've read Ultimate Black Panther. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.